Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome back to Pokémon Puzzle League. Or must I say, finally, truly welcome to Pokémon Puzzle League, because last weekend we did not play a whole lot. We only did some tutorial business, even though in the Mimic Mansion I did get some gameplay. But of course that was not for clearing things. When it comes to clearing this game, 100% actually beating this puzzle village we see over here, that is going to start today. With the most basic of all the ways to play this game. The most basic way to play any puzzle game, so also this one. The endless mode. Yeah, in order to make sure you are able to save all of your progress, you need to register. That's basically the file select of this game, you might say. You can also play as a guest. However, then all of your results won't be saved, so I will be making a profile for myself. I hope my name fits, because it doesn't always in the game. No, indeed. 6 letters again, so that's spelled without the C. Treecks with just a K. Which is also a way sometimes people spell my name, so incorrect, I must add. Treecks is based on Trico, and that's definitely with CK. But anyway, whenever playing Endless, you can actually select between 2D and 3D mode. I think I'll just start with 2D mode in order to start off this project, you might say. 3D we'll be taking a look at later. The speed level also returns from Panel de Pon. You can actually set it between 1 and 50 to start. And for game level, we're going to start off with easy, normal and hard. I think I'll use in order to cover the time zone and other modes. Let's finally get started with the gameplay. Okay, are we ready? In Endless mode, we need to play normally, like we're used to, how this game is supposed to be played. However, like I mentioned, there's actually something you can clear, so allow me. What we're aiming for is 50,000 points. I'm not entirely sure if that's indeed the... It was already a good one, by the way. But anyway, I'm not sure if that's indeed the score we need. It is something I cannot fully confirm, because I've not been able to actually find what the score is required in order to officially beat this mode. But I'm pretty sure I remember it's 50,000 points. And if it turns out it is not, then the joke is on me. I need to play this mode again. But in the meantime, I'll just give some weird commentary in order to fill up the background of me playing this. Because of course, the Endless mode is fun and everything, but it is, when it comes to content, not per se the most interesting mode. It's also the reason why I'm covering this first. But I can actually use it in order to talk about a couple of things. There's not a whole lot of things I can really address when it comes to talking about this game in particular. Because most of the things I already talked about during my Tetris Attack Let's Play. So, I think the biggest thing I can talk about while playing through this is the difference between Tetris Attack or Panel de Pon in Japan and this game. Because it's definitely more than just the theming. This making use of the Pokemon theme, or Pokemon anime to be precise, as its theme. But that's definitely not the only difference, because I think you can already see it a little bit. But it is definitely more noticeable when playing yourself. The way the blocks actually work, the mechanics of this game, also definitely feel different. Even though it is the same puzzle type game. It's once again a Panel de Pon type puzzle game, with the exact same rules and the exact way to play. And yet it still feels different. The way the blocks fall, and the way the blocks actually connect to each other. Especially when switching around, it feels a little bit different. So it definitely got revamped here on the N64 version. And if I need to be honest, I must say I like the mechanics of the SNES, the original game. I think I like those a little bit more. Whenever playing Pokémon Puzzle League, I feel my playing is a little bit more slippery, if you know what I mean. I tend to make a little bit more mistakes sometimes. Actually missing out on what I'm trying to do, and that's something that happens a lot less on the SNES, whenever playing Tetris Attack. And when it comes to that, I think this game is a lot more challenging. I'm not too sure if this applies to everyone, but for me, I think playing Pokémon Puzzle League is always a little bit harder than playing Tetris Attack, because I always feel the way the blocks actually move is not really a better way. But I definitely can still do it. Not saying that I can't do it. Whenever people saw me play when I was younger, they always said, "Man, you're really pro at this game." And I always had to say, Yeah, but this game is also on the SNES under a different name. And in that one I'm even better. That's a little bit more my thing. The way it works on the SNES. And it's probably because I played that game first, of course. It released earlier, so I think I'm a little bit more used to how Tetris Attack works. And this game, even though very similar, because once again the differences aren't great, but they're definitely noticeable in the game mechanics. But this one always feels a little bit off to me. Not that it's a bad thing, because I think it can make it a little bit more challenging. Sometimes I feel Tetris Attack is a little bit too easy. Even on the highest difficulty, it's not really that difficult beating that game. And that's another difference I can actually quickly address. Pokémon Puzzle League, even though not noticeable in the Endless mode, because Endless mode is just an Endless mode and nothing more. But I think every other mode in this game definitely is a lot more difficult than all of their counterparts in Tetris Attack. No, that's not what I was going for. My apologies. Those are the kind of moments I mean. My eyes actually see something, and my controlling it not always able to actually perform that. No matter, I'm actually getting distracted by the gameplay now. Not something I was going for today. But, oh yeah, I was talking about difficulty of this game compared to Tetris Attack. Pretty much all of the modes, most of all the one-player modes, the versus mode, the stadium mode you might say, the story mode. That is one of the modes that I feel in Tetris Attack, even on the highest difficulty, is a little bit too easy. And that's something they definitely remedied in this game. Because the story mode in this game, if you compare it to the one in Tetris Attack, is a lot more difficult. And I mean a lot more difficult. But we'll see that last, I think. Because of it being the quote-unquote story mode of this game, it's something I'm going to cover last. But it's always the thing I enjoy the most in this game. It's by far the most challenging thing in this game. And that mode alone proves that this game is a lot tougher than Tetris Attack was. But it does not only apply to the one-player mode, the versus mode. I think the same applies to the stage clear mode and the puzzle mode in this game. Both of them a lot more difficult than we saw in Tetris Attack. Even though the puzzle mode was already difficult there. Yeah! 12! My highest one yet. See, even if I distract myself with the story, I can still play this game. That's the whole reason why I'm doing that. And it's also because the Endless mode suits itself for it, I think. It's of all the modes the least interesting to actually cover gameplay-wise, so... that one, actually changing it into story time, is not per se a bad thing. In the other modes, of course, do have a lot more gameplay commentary. But for this one, yeah, there's not a whole lot of things to say. I just play like I always do, just getting my skill chains. My preferred way of playing, like I explained last time in the Mimic Mansion. And we're doing that over and over and over again until we reach 50,000 points. And we're getting close because we're over halfway, I see, so... See if we can actually do this quick enough. I was trying to do this under 10 minutes, but I can already safely say that is not going to happen, I think. Because we're at 6 minutes 50, almost. I just passed halfway point, and I'm not getting times 12s every single time, so... It's also something you can clearly see. Not per se something I have to cover, because it is the same in Tetris Attack. But whenever you get high scores, big combos or high chains, the higher the number, the more points you actually receive for them. Although I believe there is a difference in scoring. Can't confirm what the differences are officially, but kinda like Panel de Pon and Tetris Attack, there's also a difference in scoring here in Pokémon Puzzle League. The value of a 12 combo or times 12 chain is actually different in the different versions. So you can't really compare the scoring system. But at least the way the blocks actually clear, that is still the same, so... Let's make sure not to die. I'm actually raising my stack in order to make sure I get as many blocks as possible. The more blocks you have, the bigger the chance you can actually find yourself a good chain or combo. That's the reason why I'm doing that. But you also need to be careful, because of course there's a risk. If you go too high and you don't see a way to clear some blocks in time, you can actually kill yourself with it. Therefore ending your adventure early. So for stuff like that we need to be careful. Especially since the longer this actually takes, the higher the speed level also becomes. We started off at 1, because of course this is the first mode I'm actually playing, so I want to start off with the most basic way to play. Speed level at 1 and game level at easy. But even though the game level does not change, it will always stay easy, always normal, or always hard, depending on what you choose. But speed level does change. Comparable to Tetris Attack, the longer you are playing, the higher the speed level becomes. And therefore saying the rate in which the blocks will rise. As you can see over here, it clearly goes quite fast already. Speed level at 32. It can go up to 99, that's the maximum it can reach. However, unlike in Tetris Attack, you cannot select 99 in this game. I think you can later on, whenever you start unlocking things. You can actually beat a couple of modes. I think then it becomes an option. In Tetris Attack, it's always an option. But here, as you can see at the beginning, the maximum is 50, at least to start. But it does go above 50. Even if you select 50, that's not the maximum. Yeah, there we go. 35,000, so we're not there yet, unfortunately. Starting to run out of topics to talk about, so if I'm really running dry on topics, I can always start talking about the gameplay, but I don't think there's anything too spectacular to see at this point. Perhaps if I start going for very high chains. Times 12 is so far the highest one we've seen. Yeah, it's not always easy actually getting your chain. Sometimes you do see one, but you're a little bit too slow, or it's simply impossible to get your blocks in time. Okay, here's one blue. Green. No. That's what I mean. Sometimes in Pokémon Puzzle League, I think the cursor feels a little bit slippery. So stuff like that, whenever I overshoot or simply miss the blocks I wanted to switch around. That's something that happens a lot less to me on the SNES. There I think I have way better control over the cursor. This game always feels a little bit more slippery when it comes to that. Not per se a bad thing, like I explained. It's definitely something that makes it more challenging. At least we've reached 40,000, so... And I was indeed correct about the fact that I'm not going to be able to do it in 10 minutes. Because I see that has passed on my in-game clock. Let's quickly get 8,000 more points. I can make a time lag here. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that one was too late. Stop my chain. Yeah, that's a good one. Purple. Green. Red. Another green. Oh, I messed that one up. Oh, Pokémon Puzzle League, why are your controls so slippery? This could be the final chain, if I actually do this correctly. And I did not. Stopped really early. Okay, let's try this again. Blue. And yellow. Green, red. 48. 49. 50,000! There we go! So, if I'm correct, this should be the minimum amount of score you need to reach. Unlike in Tetris Attack, I'm not going to continue until 99,000. There's no need. And besides that, 99,000 is not even the maximum here. It goes even beyond that. So, we're not going to sit here for an hour getting the maximum score. We're going to sit here for just 12 minutes getting the required score. Just like in Tetris Attack, we get a tally up of all of our results. And then it is time to actually receive our reward. If you have 50,000 points or more, Endless Mode is cleared. We receive the Endurance Medal. The first mode is already cleared. We only needed one episode for it. So, the end credits we're going to skip. That was the cut you just saw. Even in this mode, you get the end credits. You get that for beating every single mode in this game. But of course, I'm only going to show it off during the final one. But what I will show off is this. On the title screen, hold the Z button and push the B button, A button, L button and L button again on the first controller. After doing so, the speed level of the marathon will now increase to 99. Yeah, like I said, there is a way to actually unlock the higher levels in this game. And beating Endless is apparently what you need to do. Did not remember it was that mode exactly, but apparently beating marathon will get you that cheat. But anyway, as you can see, we now have our records available. Now that we have beaten the first mode, and we are able to see our progress. Of course, most of the modes we did not do yet, but marathon we did. So we can see on 2D our highest score is now 52,691. But of course, every single mode will have a records page. Our first prize on marathon. But of course, there's way more to get. This game has just started. Just the basic way to play we have covered. But there's many more. Let's fill up the rest of this episode by showing off something that is similar to marathon, and yet still different. Remember how the Mimic Mansion has super easy mode? I think this is a perfect time to show that off. Because it pretty much functions just like marathon, but it is not called super easy for nothing. This is actually the perfect way to train yourself in getting skill chains, I feel. Because easy mode was already easy, you might say. But this way, the game is even easier. The disappearing of the blocks whenever you make a clear like this goes really slowly here. Really, really slowly. And therefore, this is actually the perfect mode to play, or play around on, you must say, in order to train yourself in getting better at this game. Being able to see how skill chains can actually form. And how fast you actually need to be in order to get them. We have all the time in the world here. It does not matter how far away the blocks are. Whenever playing super easy mode, we are always able to get everything in time. Especially when playing 3D mode. Because there, as you can see, we have plenty of blocks. But of course, the same principle can also apply on 2D. But you have a little bit less blocks there. See, even all the way from the other end of the stack, we can still get blocks in time in order to make skill chains. So if you ever want to see the times 20 or times 30, really epic numbers of chains, the super easy mode is actually the way to do it. Because of the slower speed, everything falls. This is your perfect chance to actually get high scores really quickly. Here we even overflow the counter now, times 15. 16 and 17. Gets depicted as question marks now. Yeah, eventually the game will stop counting, as you can see. But of course, officially, it still goes beyond. You just need to start counting yourself at that point. So, let's play this for a couple of minutes and see if we can actually get the 50,000 points we just got in 2D mode marathon on regular easy mode. Took us 12 minutes there. Let's see if this super easy mode, even though things go slower, but because of the slower speed, we do get a lot more chances to actually get really high in our chains. And therefore our score also explodes at some point. Just a single chain, if performed correctly, can already give you 10,000 of points. Just one single chain. Oh, missed that one up there. Thought that was going to be a chain. Don't matter. We can start over again. There's plenty of blocks here in 3D mode. Plenty of time to actually rearrange them. So we can do whatever we want. Oh, and one other thing I also need to address. You might have seen it already in the records, but Super Easy Mode actually does not have a reward. This is just here to train, you might say. It's the whole reason why it's also inside of the Mimic Mansion. But Super Easy Mode does not have a score you need to beat in order to get a reward. This is not for 100%. Just saying. In case you're going to try to get maximum score here. And then expect a reward. You won't get any. This is not something you can clear. This is just for training, you might say. Just Marathon Mode and Time Zone are the ones you can clear. When it comes to the forms of endless play in this game. Time Attack we're going to do next time, of course. But since we've played on easy and super easy this time around, we're going to show off normal and hard there, making it even more difficult. But let's first enjoy this super slow, super easy way to play. And get super crazy high numbers of chains. Times 14, so now the overflow will start happening again. 15. This is 16. We can still continue. We have yellow. And red. Ooh, it's going to be 6. Bam. Here we go. Here's another one. I'm afraid I already lost count. But I'm pretty sure we're above 20 now. Okay, now the blocks are starting to run out. But we still can continue. There's another blue one. Purple. Yeah. And I'm afraid this is going to be the final one. And as you can see, it cranked the score from 40,000 to 70,000 in just one chain. Awesome, right? That's the best way to play. Unfortunately, this is not a normal way to play. There's not a single mode in this game actually making use of the super easy form. It would have been nice if it actually did appear in other modes as well. Because I can imagine playing a versus mode with this could also get really interesting. But no, here in the Mimic Mansion, it's the only place where we can play super easy. Yeah, there's another one. Let's try getting another really crazy chain. And make 100,000 points our goal before we stop. And if performed correctly, one chain should be enough. Bam! Time lag. There's another one. Red. 95,000. Yeah, we have to continue. Purple. 97,000. 99,000. But I don't see any. Okay, let's quickly start over. Yeah, there we go. 100,000 points. And it only took 6 minutes. On easy mode, it took me 12 minutes to get up to 50,000 points on 2D. And here, on super easy 3D, it only took me 6 minutes to get double the amount of points. Clearly showing off how super easy mode can be really fun to play around on. An ultimate way to train yourself. So, I think with that we have enough coverage for today. Showing off the marathon mode, the endless mode. Already cleared it by getting 50,000 points or more. And the remaining time we showed off the remainder of the Mimic Mansion I did not show off last weekend. The not required but really fun to play super easy mode. So with that, we have another episode. Next time we're going to play that other way to play Endless. Time Attack. The time zone is up next time. With higher difficulties. So, thank you all for watching and Treecks out. See you folks next time.